Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tech Mentorship series. And 2 weeks ago, we started a series on how to become a tech professional. And in our first part of the series, we made mention of for you to become a tech professional, the first thing you need to do is to have an understanding of the industry. And we went further to say to identify key areas in the industry that you should understand. The first thing you should know of, the first information you should have about the industry is to understand the domains that exist within the tech industry. Then we mentioned the fact that you should understand the career path that exists within the tech industry and a whole lot of others. But the second thing we made mention afterwards was for you to understand yourself, know yourself. After you've been able to know the industry, the next thing is for you to know yourself. And knowing yourself, we divided it into two. The first thing you want to know about yourself is to know the soft skills that you possess. And we made mention of the fact that there are 7 soft skills needed for you to succeed in tech. Then we went further to say that beyond knowing your soft skills, it's important that you have a desire, because there are a lot of persons going into tech without having a desire or having an understanding of what exactly they are going into tech to do. So you should know yourself, and you should have a desire. And in having a desire, you should also create a career objective. So that's what we treated in the first part of this particular specific series on how to become a tech professional. Then in the second part of how to become a tech professional, we made mention of you getting a mentor. Again, you need to understand your mentor. What are the requirements? What are the skills you need, the soft skills you need to possess in order for you to get a mentor? Then you get a mentor. What are the qualifications that your mentor should have? What are the things your mentor should be willing to sacrifice for you as a mentor, or for you as a mentee? So we treated that the experience, the expertise, the education, the relationship that a mentor is expected to sacrifice for you. So today we'll be going further to the next thing after you've been able to get a mentor. And the next thing is for you to what? To pick the area or the sub career path you want to pursue. And we said, see, there are a whole lot of career opportunities in tech, and AI is coming with as a new subdomain or is a new sub career path, creating diverse opportunities that you can pursue in tech. And a whole lot of persons definitely will lose their job because of AI. But beyond that, new kinds of job will be created, and those that are able to capitalize on those kind of jobs are those that are going to be relevant in future. So now it's quite important that before you pick the career path or the career role you want to pursue, you should before you pick the career role you want to pursue, it's quite important that you should be able to know your soft skills, because your soft skills is what should determine the kind of career roles or the career path you should pursue. Having an understanding of your soft skills goes a long way to determine whether you would succeed in a particular career role or not. Many persons just pick a career role without having to know if they have the prerequisite soft skills to succeed in that career role. And that's one of the reasons why this tech mentorship series, that's one of the reasons why this particular topic on how to become a tech professional has been extended and expanded, so that you don't just go and start by picking a career role or picking a career path without having an understanding of the kind of information or the kind of knowledge or soft skills that you should possess. So in the past, we've actually treated the career path. So I'm going to be listing some of the career role or the sub-career path on that specific career path or tech domain. One being the development domain or the development career path. And the development career path, largely they are the people that tends to build. And for building, for you to be able to build, it requires high level of critical thinking and problem solving, because you should be able to solve critical problems as it pops up in the course of you trying to build. Because for example, having to develop a software does not just require you to be able to know a particular programming language. Beyond knowing the particular programming language, you would need to know how to apply that programming language to solve specific problems or solve specific challenge in the course of that software development. I've had a lot of persons who were accountants but eventually became programmers, and being programmers, they would need to develop some form of accounting softwares. And if it's just programming skills that you have to be able to develop accounting softwares, you may not be able to do much, because programming skills require some level of critical thinking. And the reason is because creating a calculator, developing an application that does calculation function can be done differently. There are people that will use 100 line of code to be able to achieve that particular functions. And there are people that will use 1,000 line of code to achieve that particular function. And there are people that will use 50 lines of code to achieve that particular function. So now, what differentiates the person that would use 50 lines of code, 100 lines of code, 1,000 lines of code, is your ability to think critically and solve problems practically. So that's the reason why you need problem solving and critical thinking for you to become a developer. So what are the career path or sub-career path that exist within the development career path? So we have the blockchain. Blockchain is it started as an emerging career path, because excuse me. It started as an emerging career path, but it has grown beyond that, because we are getting to see blockchain, those who are focused on blockchain security. We are getting to see people who are focused on blockchain development of smart contracts, and blockchain is now being integrated into our daily lives. We are seeing fintech, cryptocurrency perspective of blockchain coming forth. We are seeing decentralized autonomous organizations, DAO, and a whole lot of real estate based blockchain solutions. They are all coming up. These are different angles of development of blockchain development. So you can start to go into blockchain. Blockchain is just a concept that has to do with you having to decentralize or remove the middleman for every transaction. For example, the cryptocurrency remove the middleman, which is the bank, for banking transactions. Now you can have a peer-to-peer transaction without having a middle person in between. So the industry continue to evolve. We're getting to see government integrate blockchain into their solutions because of the security, the integrity of the data, and all of the concept of the infrastructure, the blockchain infrastructure, which is distributed ledger. So that is an industry you want to look out for. Then there's also the AI. What generally AI is when machines are able to carry out human tasks. Artificial intelligence is the concept of machine carrying out similitude of human tasks, and to a large extent, a whole lot of persons are going to lose their job. But yeah, because the AI industry is going to be enormous, it's going to be massive, new kinds of jobs will be created. We'll have AI project managers come to play. We'll have ethicists, those AI ethicists come to play. We'll have AI governance professional come to play. These are new and emerging fields that has not been leveraged upon. People have not been able to capture. People don't even have an idea of this kind of jobs. So these are the kind of fields that would need professionals. We will need AI security professionals, not just cyber security professionals, AI specific security professionals. Just as we have web security professionals, we have network security professionals, we're going to have AI security professionals. So this is an area you want to look out for. There's also those that will be focused on mobile security. Mobile development, developing mobile phones, mobile solutions, mobile applications, and web applications for the purpose of it's largely the environment that they will be working in. So the applications will be working in. Mobile applications will work majorly on smartphones and mobile-based devices, and that can also cascade downwards to even applications that run on our smart devices like our TVs, our IoTs, and all of that. So these also things that as one that focuses on the development domain, you want to look at which of these areas do I want to go to. Do I want to go to the area of blockchain technology. They want to go to the area of AI. They want to go to the area of mobile phone, IoT, and also there's also cloud. And cloud is also a huge market because the applications, all the applications you're building runs on the cloud, and there are cloud-based applications. So software desktop applications are largely going to reduce. We're going to get more cloud applications as against desktop applications. So you want to look at that possibility of going into learning how to develop cloud-based applications. So that is for the development domain. So you can go to the now if you want to focus, if you want to go into the sorry, that's for the development career path. If you want to go into the communications and networking career path, which is largely a career path that facilitates computer to computer communications and also facilitate human to human communications, human to machine communications. This is the career path that you want to go into. And in this career path, you can decide to focus on computer networks, which is largely corporate-based networks where you want to design in enterprise network for corporate organizations, whether the corporate organization is based in one location and they have a branch in another location and they want them to be able to communicate with each other. So it also includes entity to entity communication, so that for example, there is a branch in this place, in location A, there's another branch in location B, there's another branch in location C. How do you ensure that all three locations are communicating with each other and not being exposed and all of that? So network and communication. So you want to look at that possibility of computer network. So you also want to look at the possibility of the angle of telecoms network. So telecoms network is quite this is even though most telecoms networks are now going to the cloud, we are seeing the possibility of drones serving as telecoms masts in some part of the world. So especially areas where there are no telecoms infrastructure. So they just use drones to launch networks there and all of that. So telecoms network is also a huge area. That's the network that facilitates mobile communications using your smartphones. That's the area that focuses on the 5G, 6G as we begin to progress in future, the 4G and all those other telecommunications for infrastructures. And there are a whole lot of things that exist within this particular sub career path, because even though as long as communication and networking is concerned, there's the general foundational knowledge that you are required to have. But beyond the general foundational knowledge that you are required to have, you are also expected to be able to have some form of specific knowledge. So if you are going to computer networks, that's largely designing enterprise systems and all of that. But if you're going to telecoms network, that's beyond just developing enterprise systems. Now you're looking at building infrastructures, telecoms infrastructures, your core network, your switch networks, your radio access networks, your core networks, your switching centers, and all of that. So that's completely different from designing a core, an enterprise network for a system or company to company communication. So that's quite different. Then there is also satellite networks. You can start to go into satellite networks, which is also another huge industries. We are getting to see low orbit satellites comes downwards. Most ISPs are looking at those possibilities of launching their own satellite communications for the purpose of networking and communications generally. So these are three main areas under communications and networking. So you can decide to go whatsoever route you want to go to. That can be your route. So then there is also the creative technology career path. The creative technology career path, a whole lot of AI would be doing some of this career, some of these designs. But beyond that, there will still be need for the human feel, the human touch, because there are largely possibilities that exist where AI can develop, AI can design solutions, AI can design flyers, brochure, but there is always the human touch that creates human connections when they're developing folios, and that's one thing AI does not have at the moment. So because of that, there will still be need for humans to be able to put that human feelings in whatsoever designs they are doing. So that AI can do develop and can do designs, that AI can create graphics. Uh, it can just create an artistic graphics that makes it quite uh, beautiful, but for every graphics there is usually the human connections to whatsoever graphics or whatsoever outputs that graphic produces. So if you use just AI without human in bringing in that emotional perspective to graphics design, people may just be carried away by the beauty of that output, but they would not have the connection that output is supposed to produce, the design is supposed to produce. So it's not as though that because of AI you should not consider create the creative technology career path. So you should, please. Then what are the areas you want to look at? You want to look at graphics design, which is designing whether it is still graphics, like photography. There is still that very important moment that AI can miss. There is the emotions, there is a whole lot of things. So still, when we want to do motion, that's videography. We know that here AI does a whole lot of like mid-journey, a whole lot of video editing. You can create videos and all of that with that. But notwithstanding, I believe that there's still a role humans have to play in all of this. And that is the role of bringing emotions to whatsoever graphics that is being designed or that is being edited. So you can decide to go into graphics design, whether still or motion. You can also decide to go into modeling, like 2D, 3D modeling, that's animated modelings and carried out animation designs. So those are the areas that exist in what's it called, in creative technology. There are a lot, like the infographics and all of that. So these are the two core areas: the graphics design, which is the still or motion, as photo, video, then animation modeling animation images and all of that. So then you can also go into the data career path. For the data career path, it's like I said, it's relatively new. We're getting to see the need for data analysts. We're getting to see the needs of data collectors. We're getting to see the needs of data privacy professionals, security professionals, data scientists, and all of that. So there are new career paths that falls under this. There are new career roles that falls under the data career path. So I think it's something that you should consider. The data is not going out anytime soon, and the reason is simple: without data, AI is useless. So we need to put data to be able to. We need to manage data to be able to produce effective and productive artificial intelligence models. So data is important. Data career path is relevant in this dispensation and time. In fact, it's going to be among the very few career paths I would want to recommend a lot of persons to go into, because it's emerging and it's something that would stand the test of time as long as AI systems AI development is concerned. So then the last career path, I think there are last career path and the subdomains under the sub career path under it is the security career path. So for the security career path, there are sub career paths under it. For example, the computer security, which cut across infrastructure, applications, clouds, security of network infrastructures, security of cloud infrastructures, and security of applications. So they call it AppSec, cloud security, and also network security. Generally, you can decide to go into that. That's where you begin to test. We carry out penetration testing on computer systems, on networks, and the likes. Then there is also the information security sub-career part, which focuses on the security of information, how to govern information to ensure information is secured, and embed the CIA triad of security, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. So that sub career path also exists. You can start to go into that route. Then there's also the telecom security. So telecom security is a huge security concern, and a whole lot of persons are actually not in this field. While communication is important, the security of that communication is way more important than just the communication, because when you develop solutions and the solutions are not secured, it gives room for malicious actors to exploit the vulnerabilities within those solutions. And that's where telecom security professionals comes to play. They ensure that you don't just build a mast, or you don't just build your core network. They ensure that your core network is secured and can be to a large extent protected and secured from malicious actors. And there is also satellite security. I wanted to do this satellite security in my PhD, because satellite security, we are getting a whole lot of low orbit satellites now. We have the international space stations. Countries are launching their satellites for remote monitoring, for communications, for environmental monitoring. So these satellites are communication systems from the Earth to the satellite, from the satellite to the base stations. These communication channels needs to be secured. Imagine having to penetrate, and for example, let's work with an assumption of Starlink. Starlink has a low orbit satellite. Imagine having to penetrate one of those low orbit satellites. The good thing, the terrible thing about that is that the satellite is designed in a mesh using mesh network, so they are all interconnected with each other. So once you're able to penetrate one of the network, you have access to the whole of the satellite, and with that, you practically can do and undo on that system. So satellite security is a huge area that I think we should look out and see how best we can begin to secure that aspect. And so if you want to go into satellite security, is a huge market. There's a huge market there. A whole lot of countries are launching their products and all of that, their satellite and all of that. They are designing their independent satellite, launching it and managing it. So satellites are springing forth here and there. So there is need for us to begin to look at the possibility of going into this satellite security aspect of security. So these are the career paths that exist, and also beyond just the career path that exists, these are the sub career path that exist. So you can pick any of them. These are, if you notice, I didn't dwell deeply to begin to tell you specific roles. But once you decide on the particular career path you want to go into, you can now start looking at the entry level roles that you can start within that career path. So once you've been able to pick your career path, after picking your career path, you are not stopping there, because picking your career path is all about decisions. Picking your career path is all about you making decisions. Now, once you've been able to make the decision of the particular career path you want to go into, the next thing you want to do is to ask yourself, how do I acquire the knowledge, the skill? Because all these career paths, not all the skills are publicly available, but majority of these career paths, their skills are publicly available, and you can decide to learn them. So there are different ways you can learn, you can acquire the technical skills, because these are technical skills. So like I said, the career path, before you pick a career path, first identify the soft skills that you have. The soft skills that you have should determine the career path you should pursue, or the career in the tech domain industry you should go into. But once you've been able to identify the soft skills and you've seen that the soft skills matches your career path, then the next thing is to what? Is to pick the career path you want to go into and ask yourself, how do I learn the technical skills, the skills required for me to become a professional in this career path. So now, for you to learn the skills that is relevant for you to become a professional in this career path, you would need to ask yourself whether you want to go the formal route or the informal route, because acquiring tech skills can be done formally. It can be done informally. That means you can go to a formal settings where you will be issued a certificate like get a degree in a degree related to that particular field or that particular career path or that particular role that you want to pursue. But beyond going to degree is you're getting a degree or acquiring a degree, whether it is first degree or your master's degree, whatever degree you want to acquire, is just one of the ways you can get a formal you can acquire the skill of a particular tech skills formally. There are other ways. For example, you can also go the certification route. I'm going to dwell more on the certification route when we get to because there's also a specific step for you to get certification. So I'm going to dwell that, but it's also a formal way of acquiring tech skill. But then there's also the internship. You can also acquire the skills via internship. So acquiring the skills via internship is not you going to work for an organization. It's you going to learn under an organization. That's practically, in Nigeria, there is the eastern part of this country has a system of learning called apprenticeship, and that's actually the system of learning we are using in our tech camp project. And let me even use the opportunity to tell you about the 100,000 tech camp project. So because of our research on AI, we found out that there's going to be a whole lot of job loss. A whole lot of persons will lose their job, and many of them are not aware of the fact that their job will be lost. So what we decided to do is to launch an initiative to train 100,000 enthusiasts into becoming tech professionals, and that training is going to be absolutely for free. And we started our first cohort, and the first cohort has over 425 apprentices currently enrolled and learning that particular skills. We started with 5 different tech skills, and the goal is to get to 30 different tech skills at the end of the program. And we're looking at the possibility of training 100,000 enthusiasts into becoming tech professionals. So we embedded the apprenticeship system, which is a formal. So the system is designed in such a way that you're going to first acquire the skills from experts and professionals, after which you would now put the skill you've acquired into practice. So we're merging different formal learning systems just for the purpose of ensuring that we get effective, we produce tech professionals. So the internship, I was explaining the apprenticeship system of the eastern part of where I am, which is Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian, born and brought up Nigerian. So there's something called the apprenticeship system that they have, where somebody goes to learn under another person and serve the person for a number of years, after which the person that has been served would have to now settle the one that served with either some form of motivation and finance that will enable the person to also start his own business, or his own trade, as the case may be. So that system of education has largely been proven by even Harvard to be one of the most successful system of internship globally. So we decided to embed a portion of it. So in our 100,000 tech camp project, which is aimed at training 100,000 enthusiasts to become tech professionals for free, absolutely free. So the students are trained to acquire skills, after which they are assigned to a mentor or an instructor under the HTC Academy, who would now mentor them and teach them the trade secrets and also the role secrets of whatsoever career path that they are passing. They want to specialize in, and they will have one full month to be able to design portfolios, develop projects that they can put in their resume for them to be able to sell and get client. And the goal of this tech camp project is really not for the purpose of you getting a job. The goal is to connect you with the freelance community so that you can you can begin to get clients as against getting employed. So that's that. So the internship is one of the formal way you can acquire the skill, learning under those that have mastered the skills. But that's not all. You can also decide to go to get online learning. You can go to online learning platforms like Udemy, Coursera, HTC Academia to acquire some of the skills, and these skills are quite relevant to the skills that are quite relevant to the role or the career path you want to pursue. So a whole lot of like the edX, Allison, a whole lot of online platforms where at the end of the day you'll be issued a certificate. You are getting nano degrees, options coming out where you get professional certificates and the likes. So these are formal means of you acquiring the skill. Then there is the informal means of you acquiring. The difference between the formal and the informal means is that for the informal means, the informal means of acquiring these skills, you usually don't get a proof that you have been able to acquire. You've acquired the skills, and that invariably means that you don't have a certificate to show that you have acquired the skills. You may have acquired the skills. For example, I acquired my cybersecurity skills informally. I didn't have to go under a tutelage to acquire the skills. I went on. I downloaded. I enrolled in an online platform that don't issue certificates, but they have the knowledge there. So when I resigned from my place of work, I used about 10% of my gratuity. I bought I subscribed to an online platform that gave me access to a lot of video materials that taught cybersecurity, penetration testings, and all of that. So I bought data, I subscribed, I locked myself in the house for months, learning these skills and practicing it. And I got acquainted with it, and I started teaching it. And eventually, I am where I am today because of the skills, that foundational sacrifice that I had to do. So you don't necessarily need to go to a formal system if your goal is to go through the freelance, is to go to the freelance community. All you need to do is to acquire the skill, build portfolios, and show people your portfolios. That can serve as a means of proving that you have acquired the skills. So I did that. I went that route. I didn't have to go under tutelage of a particular person to acquire the skill. Yes, I had a basic foundational degree in computer science, but beyond having that computer science degree, for me to specialize as a cybersecurity professional, I had to learn it on my own. So I did self-learning. So under the informal, you can start to go on YouTube. There are a lot of materials on YouTube. Then you can also decide to go on. You can also decide to read books, read material. Reading materials like books, articles. I read a lot of articles. I read a lot of materials. I downloaded a lot of books. Some of these books are free. I downloaded them, read them, understood the concepts in the book, practiced some of them, and so I largely acquired everything that cybersecurity that I have informally. I didn't have to go under a tutelage. So when it was time for me to write certifications, I learned it on my own. I read it on my own. Today I've taught professionals, I've taught industry professionals, I've trained I've trained enthusiasts to become tech professionals. So I've had to mentor people. So you don't necessarily need to go through the formal route. It's not mandatory. But if you want to go into the employment system, the market where you have to get a job and all of that, it is strongly advisable that you do what? You get a formal certificate to prove that you have acquired the skills. And that's either getting a degree, getting a master's degree, going to some of these e-learning platforms to learn the skill and acquire the skill, then get a certificate to show that you have acquired the skills, or you take a certification programs and all of that. So my learning was not formal. My learning was largely informal. However, as I progressed, I had to take some formal lessons and classes to back my informal knowledge, the knowledge I've acquired informally. So you can decide to go that route. But now this is the after you have acquired the technical skills. Acquiring technical skills is important, but showing technical skills is more important. So a lot of persons have acquired technical skills, but the truth of the matter, they've not shown it. People don't know that they don't have the skills. So how do you show technical skills? That takes us to the next steps on how to become a tech professional, and that is what is known as the portfolio development. A whole lot of persons on their CV goes and tell you their job description. Job descriptions no longer matters. People don't tell you what their job descriptions are, and the reason is simple. Job descriptions are what you're supposed to do. What if you're not doing what you're supposed to do? How would they now be able to validate that you actually have the experience? So it has moved from you putting job descriptions in your resume to putting actual achievements. And that's where you see people say, I worked in a XYZ organization, and in my time in XYZ organization, I managed 5 staff. So they want you to put numbers. I developed this particular project. I supervised this particular project. I implemented this particular project. So your resume should largely focus on portfolios, projects that has been done, accomplished, and there are tangible results for it. So acquiring the test skills is good, but putting the test skills to use is more important, and and beyond that, showcasing what you have used the test skill to produce is very, very relevant to your progress and your growth of becoming a tech professional. So you want to now build portfolios, and there are a lot of ways you can build portfolios, because there are projects that are available, open source projects. You can start to volunteer in one of these open source projects. If, for example, you're a software engineer, nothing stops you from volunteering in one of these open source projects to develop a project that is open source. You can try to improve the project, and once you improve the project and people are seeing tangible results of your improvement, you add that to your resume and say that, yeah, I was the one that suggested so and so feature in this particular project, and I implemented it, and I was able to deploy it, and it has been adopted by the organization that is for running the open source project. A lot of projects, go to GitHub, you see a lot of projects. Develop portfolios. It must not be open source project. You can develop your own portfolios. If you are a product designer, for example, you can build the interface of, let's say, a fintech mobile application, and upload it on your GitHub page. That becomes a portfolio that you have developed, because that's what they want to see. Those that want to recruit you don't just want to see that you have acquired the skill. They want to see that you've been able to use the skill to build something. So when you put projects that you have built on your resume, it's easier for them to get you. It's easier for them to hire you. It's easier for you to convince them that you have the technical skills for that particular role. And also, portfolio development helps you to get more clients. When you develop a portfolio, for example, when I do web development on the side, and there are times where someone will say, "Hey, Hanniel, can you develop this website?" I say, "Yes, I can develop this website." The next thing they want to tell me is, "Show me websites you've done before." So I can just go and send them links of websites that I've done, and they will say, "Oh, this is good. Okay, if this is good, if you truly did this, I think you have the skills and the technical ability to be able to carry out the project, the web development project want to give out." And that's how I get projects, by showcasing the portfolios that I have been able to do showcasing the projects I have accomplished. So you need to move from job description based resume to portfolio showcasing based resume, and that will only be done if you have been able to put your skills to use by using them to develop portfolios and projects. And those projects would now find their way into your resume or into your profile. That would now, in fact, people no longer call it resume. Some organizations says your portfolio. So your portfolio are all the projects you've done, projects you've been involved with. You must not be the the lead of the project. You just need to be involved, and your role should be specific, and your descriptions within the project, your achievement within the project should be specific and tangible and measurable. So you want to, so how do you build portfolios? You want to volunteer in open source projects. You also want to engage in competitions. That's also one way you build portfolios. So on your resume, you can put in, I was involved in, for example, there's a lot of hackathon competitions coming springing forth for hacking, where you would need to, you put a bunch of hackers in a room. Pardon my language, just put some group of hackers in a room and give them tasks to begin to hack certain systems and certain virtual systems. And the reason it's called hackathon is that they can hack 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 7 days. They are just in the room, and the only thing they are doing is hacking. Now, when you just imagine you having to be in a room for 7 days and you are engaged in the skill, you are putting the skill of hacking into practice. What that helps you to do is that it enhances your skill. But beyond enhancing the skill, you now have something that at the end of the day you will put in your resume, that you were involved in a competition. I was involved in a 7 days hackathon competition where we emerged as the fourth overall best amongst 40 participants. Imagine that you in your resume, you were engaged in a competition, you were involved in a competition, and you came out first amongst 100 persons that participated. So that can be a booster for you, for employees to show employees that you actually possess these skills that is needed. And that can also be a booster to show clients that you actually possess these technical skills that they need to be able to carry out or implement a particular project. So you can get involved in competitions like hackathon. You can also get involved in independent projects. I mentioned that earlier, where you sit on your own and develop projects without you being asked to. And don't consider it to be a waste, because that project can be a portfolio that you can showcase to others as a system of proof that you have the particular skill, you've been able to acquire the particular skills, technical skill in question. Then you can also volunteer for corporate organization. And this is usually what many persons want, because they want to go under a corporate organization and volunteer as an intern in a corporate organization, which is good. But that for me, I consider that to be the least, because the organization can limit your learning knowledge, especially if you find yourself in an organization that is not growth minded. So you can, if you have that option, that's fine. But beyond that, we need to grow beyond all of this, or beyond volunteering for or interning in an organization, especially when the organization does not have the required facility or system for you to grow and learn. So you don't need to go and volunteer in such organization when there is no system of growth. So, but it's an option for you to be able to build portfolios. You can volunteer as for organizations, build portfolio for yourself and all of that. And the last thing that you would do for you to become a tech professional is to get certified. And this is where we're going to be wrapping it up. So getting certified, certification has largely been abused. So the concept of certification is a system that proves that you have, 1, the skill, the technical skill, 2, the experience. So certification is a system that helps you prove to employers, that you have both the skills and the technical skills and the experience. However, we've seen people who really don't have the experience. They go take DOMS and they read DOMS to pass the certification exams and use that to showcase that they have experience. The job will actually prove otherwise on the long run, because on the long run, eventually it will mean that you are learning on the job. But certification generally is a system of employers validating that you have, 1, the skill, and 2, you have the experience. But that has largely been abused. But notwithstanding, it doesn't stop you from you getting certified. That's why certification is largely the last thing that you need to do to become a tech professional. Now you are the first thing you know the industry. After knowing the industry, you know yourself, you know what you want to achieve. After knowing what you want to achieve, you get a mentor. After you get a mentor, you know the career, you pick a career path you want to pursue. After picking a career path you want to pursue, you acquire the tech skill. After acquiring the tech skill, you build portfolios, that you build projects, you build systems. And after building systems, the next thing you want to do is what? After building portfolios and building applications and projects, or getting involved in projects, now you have the skill, you have the experience to do what? To get certified. Now you want to get certified. And getting certified would mean that you want to getting certified would mean that you want to show to employers, you want to show to clients that you have both the skill and the experience to implement and to get involved in whatsoever project they want to put you in. So it's important that you get certified, and once you have been able to get certified, it goes a long way to showcase your expertise. But sadly, a whole lot of persons are certified, but they don't have experience. You, as employers, that's one of the things I usually take note of when employing, when I find myself in a place of having to recruit tech professionals. So you see that you see that for some of them, they get certified before they even acquire the skills. So and the reason is simple. The reason they do that is simple. You can easily just get certified by going to get DOMs, getting the study material, reading the study materials, specifically for the purpose of passing the certification exams. So, and once they read, you pass, you are certified. But do you have this? Do you have the core technical skills? No. Do you have the experience? No. So it's just a reality that we need to begin to look at the possibility of managing. So that's the last thing you need to do, get certified. Now, once you get certified, the next thing and the final thing you need to do is either you get a job or get a client that you can continue to showcase your expertise to. And that is that for that is how that is a system and a step-by-step approach on how to become a tech professional. So I'm going to do a quick recap. The first thing you want to do is to what? Is to know the industry you're coming into. Knowing the industry would mean that you want to know the career path that exists. You want to know the domain that exists in the industry. You want to know the opportunities that exist. Now, after knowing the industry, the next thing you want to do is to know yourself. What exactly do I want to achieve when going into the tech industry? Create a career objective. Then know your soft skills. After knowing yourself, the next thing you want to do is to get a mentor. Get a mentor to guide you. Get a mentor to protect you. Get a mentor to use his relationship to influence certain areas within the industry for your sake. After you get a mentor, the next thing you want to do is to pick a career path. Picking a career path would mean picking the specific career path or sub-career path you want to get involved, whether it is the development AI, whether it is development blockchain development, whether it is IoT development or security or data, whatever career path you want to go into, you have to take a decision there. But taking a decision is one thing. The next thing is, after taking a decision of picking your career path, you want to acquire the tech skill. You can decide to acquire it formally or you acquire it informally. But whatsoever the case is, whether you want to acquire formally or informally, it should be determined by what you want to do with the skill. So if you want to go into the employment market, the labor market, where you need to showcase that you have the skill, then you have to go the formal route of acquiring the skills so that you have certificate to show and prove that you actually acquired the skill. But if you want to go the freelance route, where you want to use the skill that you've been able to do, the skill you've been able to acquire to get clients, then you can acquire it informally. But after acquiring the skill, the next thing you want to do is to use the skill that you've acquired to build portfolio, get involved in projects, use that to put on your resume to showcase that you've been able to acquire the skill. Now, after you've been able to get involved in you build portfolios for yourself, that means you are now experiencing it. That it is at that point that you can now get certified, and showcasing that you have both the technical skills and you also have the experience to be involved in more projects. And once you're certified, you can submit your all this all this put all of them in your portfolio or in your resume, as generally known, then use that to get more jobs or get contract or get, and once you're done, you're at that point, you've become a tech professional. So it's easy, it's simple. It just requires a form of dedication, consistency, willingness to pursue to the end. And once you've been able to dig this to this, I tell you, if you implement this step-by-step approach, nothing can stop you from becoming a tech professional. My name is Hanniel Jafaru, and I am the Tech Mentor. Thank you for watching this series.